behind the jet-powered efficiency of the modern fighter, behind complex electronics and the subtleties of traveling beyond the sound barrier, behind each swiftly acted drama in the sky, is ground-based expertise. Ground crews, without which an Air Force would be powerless. And to provide ground crews to match the technical progress of the future, the Royal Air Force is offering young men training that befits a major role in the security of their country. New men at the very root of the modern Royal Air Force, technicians and craftsmen. Apprentices learning administration, cookery, photography, telegraphy, nursing and dentistry. A wide range of new men with a wide range of qualities. All are required to sustain Britain's position in the air.
My father kept talking about the hard life. Kept saying I'd miss the comforts at home. Well, you've got to leave home sometime, haven't you? I mean, you've got to stand on your own feet. That's what I reckon, anyway. Of course, it was a bit strange at first. You know, being ordered about, being told what to do and all that. But show my father the dormitories, and he call it mollycoddling. I call it comfort. Of course, you don't exactly need an alarm clock to wake you up. And there's another thing. They take care getting uniforms to fit properly. All right, so square bashing is a bit of a drag. But after a while, you take over in place of the sergeant. Anyway, there's more to basic training than marching up and down. And it can be interesting, if you ever get it right. It's not as if you're on your own, though, is it? I mean, take the Padre. He's not always preaching. He sort of understands, you know. And there's the flight commander. He'll take up any problems you might have. Of course, anything really serious, and wing commander will deal with it.
The urgent matter is a telegram that Kelvin has had from his mother in Yorkshire, saying that his father is seriously ill and has been taken to hospital. His mother wants him to come home immediately, but as yet we have no medical certificate.
Will his presence at home help, do you think?
Well, sir, he is the eldest of the family. But the snag is, he's got his end-of-term exam in a week's time. I was wondering, sir, if you could arrange for his exam to be delayed a week while he has 7 days compassionate leave.
Agree. I'll arrange with OC2 Wing for him to sit the exam when things are more settled. Meantime, I should get the boy off on the lunchtime train to avoid overnight travelling and brief the boy to send us a note from the doctor.
I remember when I first saw Holton, I thought, well, you know, I thought it looked pretty impressive somehow, and I wondered how I'd fit in. I felt a bit proud, though.
Holton is one of 4 ground crew training bases. It has the distinction of being the oldest school of technical training and the pride of having taught Air Commodore Whittle, inventor of the jet engine.
I used to think the jet made the turboprop out of date. Of course, I soon realised that you can't be an aircraft technician and just write it off.
Here, theory is explained through the study of actual aircraft components. And in the study of aerodynamics, the wind tunnel is used to demonstrate the conditions encountered by a plane forcing its way through the air. Craft apprentices, training as aircraft fitters, become experts in airframes and what is termed electrics, as well as in aircraft's guns and propulsion, engine power.
Those sliced down the middle machines were made by the sort of engineer I want to become. You need 4 O-levels to start straight off as an apprentice technician. If you come in like me as a craft apprentice, you can get a transfer to technician training. That's what I did. Have to work, of course.
Holton also looks after the training of dental technicians and nursing attendants. For although every base has a well-equipped hospital with doctors and regular attendants, it is important that minor accidents should be dealt with quickly, wherever they occur.
was watching when the captain came over. "Do you play?" he said. "Well," I said, "I did a bit on the wing." "We need a prop," he said. "A prop?" I said. "You're joking." But he wasn't.
As part of training, there's the opportunity to play every type of sport. And above all, there's the added advantage of professional coaching. For those who really excel as sportsmen, there is limitless encouragement. For those who just enjoy it, none of that enjoyment is spoilt by over-strict instruction. At Locking Air Station is the complex world of radar. Here, radar aerials cover every inch of the sky around, and trainees learn how to control and interpret their signals. This is the home of electronics technicians. For both technician apprentices on a 3-year course and craft apprentices on a 2- or 1-year course, opportunities for learning extend even beyond the period of the apprentice training. Yes, even when they are fully qualified, the ambitious can take advantage of classes which add gilt to the gingerbread of their technical education, and so equip themselves for promotion to NCO and even to officer rank. Craft apprentices on the 2-year course learn how to keep an aircraft's radar in perfect working order. The paraboloids you see swinging in the background fit into the nose of an aircraft and warn the pilot instantly of the existence or approach of any other aircraft. Theory and practical classes go hand in hand, the theory extending to the draftsmanship of mechanics. In other words, the blueprints of machinery. And remember, open to technical apprentices is the opportunity to sit for the ordinary national certificate in engineering.
When I saw what we had to learn, I thought, I'll never have a moment's peace, be here a lifetime. But then you just get down to it. There are books to help you in the library, of course, but they're not all technical, and it's not all work. There's a cinema. And if you want to go into town, permission's not hard to get.
We organise our own beat group too. The officers will organise hobby clubs, if there's enough of you interested. You know, building model airplanes, anything. Well, there's even an art club. A couple of the stations have got gliding clubs. Powered winches, control towers. I went once, it's a great feeling. All you can hear is the wind rushing by. And it's kind of free. It's a freedom. A sort of peace.
Cosford trains the technicians and fitters in airborne electronics. Craft apprentices following up as electronic fitters are taken through their practical course by NCO instructors. The Victor, the jet bomber you saw landing, is normally manned by a crew of 5. But it's possible for one man to fly it, with the aid of the complex bank of dials which every trainee here must understand. Radio is also included in the Cosford curriculum. It's important that the correct procedure for transmitting and receiving radio messages is thoroughly mastered in case of an emergency. And in an emergency, a pilot's life can be saved by the automatic ejection seat. If you remember the paraboloids you saw in the classroom at Locking, here they are in use. And here's the meeting point of ground crew and air crew, where repaired equipment is reinstalled to keep an aircraft thoroughly efficient.
By the time they get to us for a tea break, I'm ready for it. Well, when you're concentrating, it somehow makes you thirsty. I'm at Cosford learning photography. We develop the negatives on a kind of assembly line. That's because they come out of the camera like big rolls of, well, cine film. The hardest part's printing. I'm getting to it, though. The density's got to be good enough to pinpoint things taken from, well, sometimes 7 miles up.
Cosford also trains craft apprentices learning telegraphy.
Cosford's one of the stations that ran a summer camp. I mean, I never was much for footing it all over the place, but this is different. You go off on your own with a map and a compass, sleeping out. It's great. Yes, of course you get tired. I mean, who wouldn't? Everyone is. So what does it matter? And all being together, it somehow makes you feel as though you've known each other for years. I suppose there are easier ways of making friends, but it's good. It's a good way. What do they say? It's the qualities displayed on these sort of dues that bring out the leader in you. Yes, leadership's what they want to put you in line for, an NCO, or even a commission. You know, later on.
The motto of Hereford Station is, take the bull by the horns. And appropriately, this is where craft apprentices are trained as cooks.
I went home once. My mother was laughing about me being a cook. So I said, look, you sit down and I'll cook supper. No Air Force food for me, she said. Air Force food? If I had a small beard and a French accent, they'd pay me a fortune.
Hereford also trains administrative apprentices in clerical and supplier servicing, essential work that knits the widespread units of the Royal Air Force into an efficient organization. The systems designed to perform this vital service are complicated, and yet they must be learned so thoroughly that not a second is wasted. And here is the organization required to send men at a moment's notice to the other side of the world, airmen posted to strategic points in world security. And in order that every man everywhere should be properly equipped, it is important that the full range of equipment should be packed safely and correctly. The Supplier General's work involves 750,000 different items, varying from nuts and bolts to complete aircraft and guided missiles. To help speed the process of receiving a request and quickly replying with the right equipment, signals are sent for equipment from other stations. Yes, suppliers general are a key link in the chain of activities that keep the aircraft flying. As such, they may find themselves specializing as part of the skilled movement staff of Transport Command, working on the loading and unloading of freight and passenger aircraft, the briefing of passengers, the preparation of aircraft timesheets, ensuring the correct center of gravity of aircraft when loaded. This is the life of suppliers at home and overseas. Methods of entry under the apprentice training scheme. As technician apprentices on a 3-year course, craft apprentices on a 2 or 1 year course, and as administrative apprentices also on a 1-year course. But whatever their trades, however long they train, they all pass out airmen. And all with the opportunity to serve Britain and help themselves to the highest ranks of a worthwhile career. This, then, is the life of Royal Air Force ground crews. You have glimpsed the hard-won skills, the complications of keeping a modern jet aircraft safely in the air, the part that every airman plays in providing his country with a resourceful, efficient, proud fighting machine. The young men you have seen at work and play have made the ground their basis for a future high as the sky. New boys, new men, facing a new and exciting life.